What's up, you guys? Stoops back again, and today we're doing a podcast. Hello. Welcome, Stoops fam, to the first official World of Stoops podcast, where we discuss topics of interest, topics that I can't cover in a video format, things that I want to discuss, things that are relative to my everyday life, things that are relative to my experience in the World of Warcraft arena, World of Warcraft in general, anything that I feel should be discussed that I can't touch on in a short video, I will touch on in this podcast. I'm always thinking about what I like to do. I'm always thinking about what I enjoy to do. And to be honest with you guys, I don't watch a lot of World of Warcraft content for many reasons. I like to get away from World of Warcraft since I spend so much time making content about it. I do, surf the internet and YouTube for relative content to get ideas, to perhaps collab if possible. But for my own personal entertainment, other than playing World of Warcraft and making videos, I like to watch podcasts. I like to watch sports podcasts, entertainment podcasts. I'm doing them when I'm at school, when I'm going to bed. Sometimes I don't want the visual stimulation. I want something just to listen to. Perhaps I'm on my lunch break, or I'm driving to work, or I'm about to fall asleep and I don't want to stare at a screen. I just want to listen to some audio about a topic that I'm interested in. And since many of you use World of Warcraft as a hobby rather than some kind of, perhaps a profession for you, it will be great entertainment. And I think it's a great way for me to touch on topics that I can't touch on in a video, because sometimes my videos already get too long or they become too long and you guys fall off. But by having a podcast, I know I'm going to reach a lot of my audience who are at school, who are students, who are at their job and work a night shift. If I can reach you guys and provide some entertainment when I'm not streaming or when I'm not making a video, I think it'd be a win-win situation for both of us. I was like, man, I'd love to listen to some audio talking about PvP. And this is what this channel is going to be about. This podcast, I should say, is going to be about. And I saw some people, I don't want to mention any names, but I saw some people, talking about this idea, but I've been working on this for a long time. The money that I've been receiving, I've been investing, receiving through donations, that is. I've been investing in this podcast, creating images, software, equipment necessary to develop a solid podcast. And I need to hop on it right now. So I'm going to pump out our first episode. This idea was just kind of, talked back and forth between me and Brennan, one of my longtime subscribers and good friends. He loved the idea. And I said, you know what? Why not? Why not do something innovative? I'm always trying to create new things for you guys, keep you guys entertained. I know you guys provide me with your attention, your kind comments, your support, and I want to give back in every way that I can. So I will be doing a podcast every week to discuss topics that I find interesting, topics that you guys want to talk about. I will also be trying to interview several people, perhaps even get some people to co-host a podcast with me to provide some additional entertainment and get some information about their stories and their lives. It's not going to be about me all the time. I don't want it to be about me all the time. I want it to be about other people, because when you're watching another content creator's, work, their channel, you don't get a sense of who they truly are in a 10-minute video. And I think it'd be an excellent format to hear from them. And maybe they can teach me something about their journey. And that is so interesting to me. Learning about what other people have experienced and what their journey's been like and what they do to enjoy the game is always different for me, is so interesting. And what's great about this podcast, you guys, is that I can go on little tangents. I love to get philosophical. I love to, really dig deep in my mind. I like to connect things in my life, and this podcast will allow me to do that. So if you're just sitting at school and you want to listen to something just to ease your mind, soothe your ears, this is what this podcast will be about. Again, I'll be doing one probably every week to gear up towards a live podcast that I will host on stream, and I'll be taking live callers. So for example, let's say the podcast is going to be about flavor of the month comps. I will take live callers in the chat who want to stream or who want to be on stream, who want to jump in the curse call with me and try and provide some relative information, a funny story. Maybe they just want to ask a question, and whoever calls in with the best information, question, or story, they will receive a gift reward. I will ship it out to them, shipping free. It's just completely free to their PO box. And that will provide an incentive for other people to call in and participate. I want you guys to participate. It's a great format for you guys to get a full in-depth answer, or just to connect with me if that's something that you've been wanting to do. And in order to fund these in order to fund these podcast giveaways. I will do a donation goal. So it's just a great way to show you guys that the donations I receive are always going towards something, and they don't necessarily have to be going towards me personally. So every podcast will start with an overview of what the podcast will, contain or entail. It'll start off with an intro like we're in the middle of right now. It will carry over into something or anything that I want to talk about, maybe something that I'm experiencing in my daily life, anything that I find relevant, anything that I find is important to mention, and it will transition into just any quick news as well as a subscriber spotlight. I've been getting so much feedback and so many great supporters along the way, and I think this would be an excellent format, especially in an audio format, to thank these people or give them some recognition or spotlight, a subscriber spotlight, because they truly deserve it. I wouldn't be here without those individuals, and I'm going to try and change it up every week. I want to give them their own moment of glory, and that's what that portion of the podcast will be about. And from there on, we will transition into the topic of the podcast, a story, perhaps a story, an entertaining story, an informative story that is relative to the topic of the podcast. So you can always listen to the overview of the podcast to get information of what this, audio clip will entail. I'll try and post these on YouTube, of course, and then maybe I'll start uploading them to SoundCloud as well. You can always just listen to these through YouTube. So on to our quick announcements, you guys. As many of you guys may have seen or may have not seen, I've been trying to play a Ellie Shaman. My Paladin, I'm getting a little bit better of an understanding about that class, but I've never been a multi-classer ever. I've always played one class. I've always devoted my time to one class. And on the stream the other day, I guess just last night after recording this, I was playing my Ellie Shaman, and I was doing good for a little bit, and I was doing really well my Holy Paladin playing with my boy, Robert. We were having a great time, and he plays a Fire Mage, and we were doing well. And then I went on to stream, and I was doing fine too, but I kind of burnt out, and I started playing so bad, and it was so embarrassing for me. I mean, I know many of you guys would be like, "Oh, whatever, Stoops, you're fine. You're a monk player." But for me to do that poorly was just embarrassing, to be quite honest. I don't like to suck at anything, let's be honest. And I know that's kind of maybe counterintuitive to what I always, try to portray in my channel, that it's okay not to do well. But I guess I just hold myself to a high standard. And I want to be a good role model for many of you guys within the PvP community, because I am just like you. I'm not some super elitist. I'm just a player that likes to enjoy the game, but I like to do well at the game, and I want to be a good guide for you guys. And to suck on a public format on stream was just embarrassing for me. And when that's the kind of individual that I am. If I start to do bad or poorly at anything, I always feel bad about myself. But that's just, if you've watched my Why I Started a YouTube video, you kind of understand that you'll get a sense of why I don't like to do bad at anything. And I'm just very harsh on myself, and I want to do well. I want to be the best I can be. I want to make others proud. It's just in my nature. And I woke up the following morning from that stream after I just sucked all night, and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to step up my game. I don't want to let anybody down. I want to pump out more YouTube videos. I don't want to be a guy who comes on YouTube, makes a video once a week. You don't hear from that person for a couple weeks. You're like, where'd they go? Because some people, they rely on these channels for entertainment. And I don't want to be that YouTuber. I want to show you guys that your subscription to my channel, your donation to my channel, your viewership is so important to me. And I don't want to lose that sense. I'm not entitled whatsoever. And I'm going to start doubling down. As a result, I'm going to double down on my production, my videos. I'm going to invest more of my money that I frankly don't have. And I get a lot of comments like, Stoops, are you rich? I'm not rich, you guys, at all. I'm just like you, just struggling to make ends meet. But I put out so much content because that's what I want to do for you. It's what you guys, this community, this channel, my Stoops fam, that's what you guys deserve. So you can expect a lot more content, a lot more innovative content. You can expect me to stream a lot more. Because of my, failure on the Shaman the other night, I'm so obsessed with doing better. I'm not going to give up on the Ellie Shaman. I'm going to continue to play that class until I master it. Even if Ellie sucks, I'm obsessed with being a better Shaman, a better Paladin, and most importantly, one of the best monk YouTubers in the content creator space. Another announcement, you guys, my birthday's coming up. By the time you see this podcast, it'll probably be my birthday. I'll probably be doing a birthday stream on the 15th or the 16th just to celebrate with you guys, because you guys are my real fam. To be honest with you, I care about you guys so much. All of you are my real friends. Every time one of you guys come in the chat and comment, I always get so excited. My girlfriend just told me, she just said, wow, whenever I watch you streaming, you look so happy and you treat everyone like they're your friends. And I said, they are my friends. I'm not treating them like anything else. I love these guys. They love me, and we have the best YouTube relationship, and I honestly believe that we're the best YouTube community, hands down. I love it. You guys don't give me any negative feedback. It's always positive, supportive, and that's what drives me to make the best quality content I can, and always improve my content. So we'll be doing a birthday stream there, and that's going to gear up towards my 1,000 subscriber stream. It looks like I'll hit that 1,000 subscriber mark before the goal that I had set, which is such great news. I mean, I can't even tell you guys. I'm so happy to hit that mark because I was kind of scared. Am I going to hit that mark? I declared it. 1,000 subs in 4 months. Am I going to make it? And I'm going to make it, it looks like. And I'm so blessed. And I cannot wait to celebrate that night with all of you. So when we hit 1,000 subs, I will be doing a subscriber celebration, and I can't wait for it. For our last announcement, I want everyone who is listening to this podcast to consider following me on Twitter, you guys. I have, been posting things on Twitter, and I know a lot of people don't use Twitter, but some people do, and it's just a great way for you guys to reach me. You can just tweet me a message if you have a question, a comment. If you want to get some updates on what's going on with my life, if I haven't been around for a second, or if you want to see some of the content that I'm planning on releasing, like the artwork I'm having developed, or just follow me on a daily basis. I release a lot of personal stuff on there, but also things that I'm working on. So if you're wondering what I'm working on next, when another guide's gonna come out, or what's my next guide, or perhaps you want to see something specific and you haven't got a hold of me in the comments, and I'm usually pretty good at responding to those, but if I haven't responded to you, you can always personally tweet me. And you can find that at Stoops, 2Zs, _TV, at Twitter. So that's just my Stoops tag _TV, just like my YouTube page, at Twitter. All right, you guys, now on to our subscriber spotlight. There are so many people I'd love to give a shout out to. I honestly have so many great supporters. Rob, Coca, Justin, Brennan, Deagle, Alexander the fucking Viking. There are so many people I'd love to give a shout out to, and it's hard to choose just one. But I really want to give a shout out to War Deagle, and he's somebody that has just followed me on every social media format. That guy was my first donor ever, and I remember there was a point where I was going to go to a concert, and I told everybody this story, but I want to say it one more time in this format. I was going to go to a concert, a rave, I guess you would say. I would go to these shows with my friends, and there was a big one for New Year's Eve, and I said, you know what, man, if I really care about this YouTube thing, if I really care about my channel, I won't go to this rave. I'm going to stay home, sell my ticket, and pump out content. And I put out my RBG guide, and I said, you know what, guys, I now have set up a Streamlabs page where you guys can donate to the channel. Donations are never necessary, but if you want to support me in this channel and try and get me some of the necessary equipment, things that I need to produce high-level quality content, you can donate to this link right here. And the YouTube streaming will allow everyone an opportunity to do that on live stream. And War Deagle sent me a $10 donation, and he's gone on to donate to me, almost every time he catches me. The guy has just been so generous and helpful, and says that he loves doing it and loves my channel, loves my work. But he sent me a donation kind of just under the table, to send me a comment. Hey, dude, I sent you your first donation, or I sent you a donation, and it happened to be my first donation. There's more where that came from, but I just wanted to get out a donation to you. I love your work, bro. I love you, and I love your channel. And that made me so happy. I read it while I was at the gym, and I honestly was tearing up. I stopped working out. I couldn't even focus. I was just filled with joy, and realized that not going to the concert and putting out that RBG guide video was the best decision I ever made, because it was the start of something great. It was the start of an amazing YouTube experience that I'm still riding on, and I just can't believe where I'm at today, and I would not be here without War Deagle. So I love you, man. I appreciate the support you've given me this entire way. I look forward to our relationship growing throughout the next several months, hopefully the next several years. You have been such a huge help. And I can't thank you enough. This channel, my subscribers, I hope they all understand, how much this individual really means to me. And he's just always been so supportive. And I only hope and wish for great things for that man. And again, I can't thank you enough, Ward Eagle. Thank you so much. So now we're on to our topic for this podcast, you guys. And this is going to be a short podcast because most of my other podcasts that I will be doing will be much more broad topics. They're going to be things that I think to, find to be really interesting. And this is an interesting topic as well, but it's going to be more of a story, but it will provide some information on how you guys can find arena partners in Legion 7.15. For the sake of this podcast, you guys, we are going to go back in time to a land or time long, long ago, Burning Crusade. I've been playing World of Warcraft since vanilla, and I think by giving you a chronological story, you'll have a better understanding of how I found partners and how you can find partners today using the same method, but there are some obstacles in the way since the format and the game has changed so much. But again, back to the story. I started off playing World of Warcraft as a warrior named Jintar in vanilla. I was all right. I mean, I remember we had a group of friends, a guild called Premeditated, and I played with a lot of my IRL friends, my real life friends. And, we were all playing. The game just came out. It was so much fun. We were exploring the lands. We'd run around, Durotar, just exploring this incredible game and just killing boars and having a great time doing it and just slash dancing just to see what the dance looked like and just making fools of ourselves talking in Ventrilo. And people would come in with their Ventrilo names that would just be like Rafflecopter and making those crazy noises. If you guys know what I'm talking about, they would just spam our channels. It was just a great time. And at the time I was like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 years old. And I had to beg and cry to just plead with my mom to pay the $15 subscription. She didn't understand. You want me to pay $15 a month for you to play a game? And I'm like, Mom, please let me play this game. All my friends are doing it. And eventually, after crying and locking myself in my room for a couple hours, she paid the subscription. And that was the birth of Jintar the Warrior. It took me a long time to get to level 60. But once I got to level 60, we would all duel a lot and we would do some raids. We did like ZG. And I was so excited to do the raiding. But I love to do battlegrounds. And at the time, I was a warrior, right? And in vanilla, it was so rock, paper, scissors. And this game is always going to be rock, paper, scissors, you guys. And when I was playing, I was okay with losing to certain classes. Like I knew if I dueled somebody, I wouldn't beat them. And I think a lot of people are okay with the idea now. But nowadays, it seems like people just complain if one class beats all other classes in a 1v1 situation, then they're OP. But that's part of this game. It's always been that way. As a warrior, I could never beat any shadow or disc priest. Never. There was just no way it was going to happen. I could beat rogues because of things like overpower. But I wasn't going to beat a priest. It was just impossible to kill them. They would just tank me, face tank, heal up, and just blow me up with dots, and then Shadow or Death, Mind Blast. It was not going to happen. And I was okay with that. I was just a tool in a toolbox. I knew that I had my purpose in dungeons. I knew that I had my purpose in battlegrounds. And at level 70, I thought that I had a purpose in arenas. But nowadays, again, people just get very upset if one class is more dominant over the others. Every class has its place. They have their own utility. And I just want to touch on that really quick. But I was doing those battlegrounds at the time and I was having a great time playing them. And I remember I was in Wailing Caverns when I found out Burning Crusade was coming out. And my whole friend group was just so excited. I was running Wailing Caverns for some like twink gear or something like that. We were all into twinks. We loved just owning people at level 19, getting in the fishing hat from the Gurubashi. You would the fishing tournament and you get the fishing hat, and we would just try and get all these little cool items, and who could have the best gear at level 19 would own in those battlegrounds, and that's what we like doing. So we're in Wailing Caverns looking for some type of gear. I don't really remember what it was. And then we found out Burning Crusade was coming out, and I just shit a brick. I was so excited for an expansion. We ended up getting the expansion, obviously. I leveled my warrior to 70. And we went in the arena for the first time, the World of Warcraft arena. I did 2v2s with my friend Warlock Yakit, one of my best friends, and still is my best friend, to this day. One of my best friends. I know he's gone off and he's actually married now. And I think he's expecting a child. So I'm so happy for him. Congratulations to Yakut, the legendary Warlock. He was a great player. When doing the arenas, I had the worst gear and he was a lot more geared than I was. I was still in school, so I didn't have the time to really play. I would just get on when I could. My mom would let me, and she'd used to rip out my router from my room because I would spend too much time playing and not enough time studying, and I would just cry, and they'd catch me on Ventrilo screaming in the microphone, and they recorded me and made a video out of it. It's actually really embarrassing, but it's a true story. And after getting owned so many times in those arenas, I'm like, man, maybe this class isn't for me. Nowadays, I think that a class is for everybody, but I just wanted something else. I got tired of getting owned by certain classes, and I was a little baby. I was a whiner. I was a young kid, and I was a whiner. And I decided, you know what, man, maybe I can trade accounts with one of my friends. Oh my gosh. Yes, I said it. I wanted to trade an account with one of my friends. So I asked some of my friends, and there was a priest that was laying around. And of course, I'm like, oh, a priest, huh? I mean, well, if I can play a priest, priests always beat warriors, so they must be good. And my friend was interested in the warrior. We did the trade. I instantly regretted it the first day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing. But about 2 days later, I was like, you know what? Why don't I try Shadow? Let's try Shadow Priest. Not many Shadow Priests around. Let's try Shadow. And my rogue friend, who'd been playing a rogue all of vanilla and Burning Crusade, like, let's duel in Durotar. And I'm like, okay, well, I know I need to use Shadow Word Pain and Mind Flay and Vampiric Touch, Embrace, Shadow Word Death. He said, let's duel. And I knew a lot about priests just because I dueled them so much. And you always know a lot about the class that you can't beat, right? Because you can't beat them, so you try to figure out how to learn them or learn how to beat them. And we were dueling, and I was, dotting him up, fear bombing him, putting up my shields, re-healing up, just playing it perfect, just to a T. And then he went over to blind me to reset and bandage. And I knew he was going to blind me. I sensed it. So I threw a Shadow Word Death the second he threw the blind, and the reverse damage from the Shadow Word Death that hits you for the damage that you do to them, or for about half at the time it was, I believe, broke the blind. And he was like, what? And I ended up killing him right there. That's when I knew I had something special. My sense of timing was great. I understood distance really well at the time, and I knew how to off heal. I knew something about me. In all the games I've played, I've liked to play like a support class. So I knew that Shadow Priest had the damage, but as well as the off healing. So I started beating up my friends really bad in these duels, and I'm like, okay, let's get in the arena. And I got in the arena, and I couldn't, at the time, things weren't like all cross servered. At the time, it was like there were a lot of people in Durotar. At the time, you would use your server a lot, and everyone was in Orgrimmar. There wasn't so many cities. So all of these things really play a factor, I think, in the way things are today. And I wish, we could go back in time, not because I don't like this current format, but because things were so personal back then. You had so many friends. And if you're on a server like Tichondrius, you can go out in Durotar and you'll see tons of people dueling. But dueling sucks now, right? Dueling is like a joke. It's like, because, and I don't know why they haven't implemented this. If somebody wants to post a comment in the comment section below stating or providing information why Blizzard won't implement PvP template stats, the stats that you have in Battleground, in arenas, in a duel setting when you duel, why haven't they implemented that? Why don't they do that? Because now dueling is dead. And at the time, I found my arena partners by going to Durotar, dueling somebody, showing off my skills in a public format. Someone would say, oh, this guy's pretty good. Hey, what's your arena rating at? You don't have a team? Do you want to create an arena team? Do you want to try doing arenas? And it wasn't the biggest deal in the world, because if the team sucked, I would just leave and start a new team. But now it's stained. You're stained to a personal rating. And that sucks. It doesn't allow me to play with whoever. You could maintain several teams at one point. It did kind of suck when you had to leave a team to play with somebody else, but at least I didn't ruin my personal rating. I could always just get back on a team, win some games, and get that team rating back up, or hop on another team. Now, I understand, well, we don't want to have people hopping on high-rated teams, getting paid to do it, winning a couple games, and getting titles. Well, whatever. Don't kill the whole format of how things are just to prevent a system of marketing and money generation through PvP combat. But whatever, back to that story of Stoops. I got a rogue who, messaged me in Duratar, and he's like, hey, I feel like I'm a good player. I don't have a team right now, but would you be interested in doing 2v2s? Shadow Priest, Rogue, 2v2s? I'm like, all right. And we lost a lot in the beginning, but I didn't care. I'll just leave the team. Well, we lost like 5 games in a row. And then we started to figure out our strategy. We started to get each other's sense of play style. We started to just actually be friends. And this gave birth to an insane team. I mean, we had the craziest synergy. Soon after that, we were winning so many games. And at the time, there were rating achievements for gear. So 1850, you would get a weapon. And 2K, you'd get shoulders. And I know that's changed throughout time, but that's how it was at the time. 2K was the shoulder mark, and if you had shoulders in Duratar, you were a badass. If you had shoulders in front of Stormwind, you were a badass. The weapon, you were pretty good, and everyone knew it, and they knew you knew what you were doing. But the shoulders meant everything. Now they look at your personal rating and they judge you on that, but you could have had the shoulders, left all your teams, and they didn't know anything else other than that you had shoulders, so you must have been a badass. There was no fucking achievements where you had, what CR do you have, and what's your XP? These things really hamper the current playstyle of World of Warcraft, the current PvP arena gameplay experience. These things, achievements, CR, XP, dueling, the lack of dueling, these things hurt arenas because it's hard to find partners. So me and this rogue immediately just shot up to 2K. I mean, I remember when I was like 16 or something at the time, maybe younger, like 14. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. So Burning Crusade. And I got 1850. I remember I was crying. 2K. I freaked out. Like the same experience when I freaked out and I got my first Helm of Valor, tier 0.5 gear. I got 2K and I jumped out of my seat. I was so happy with this guy. And after that, we stopped talking. He transferred servers, race changed or something, or re-leveled a new rogue. And we didn't talk for a while. And I miss him. We were really good friends. And he was a beast of a rogue, and we would go out in Duratar, and there was this guy named Nishin and Akrios, just monsters on our server, and he would just school them, and people would be stunned because everyone knew who they were because everything was in server. The server was populated, everyone was in one city, everyone dueled in front of Orgrimmar because dueling mattered. Dueling was a thing. It wasn't like this one-shot fest with legendaries that bubble you for half your health every 8 seconds. It was actually entertaining. And now it's gone, but at the time, that's how we showed off our status. That's how you showed off your gear. You would get your 2K, you would get your enough points for that week, you'd purchase the item, you go sit in front of Duratar, and people would just run up to you, say, what team, oh my gosh, you're a beast. And then that's how I found my threes partner. I was sitting in front of Duratar. I had my shoulders on. Shadow Priest Stoop Kid. That was my name. Stoop Kid. So no, Stoops is just a side name for Stoop Kid. Someone took Stoop Kid. So whoever took that name, I'm pissed off. Please give it back. So Stoops was born from Stoop Kid, but Stoop Kid was sitting in front of Duratar with my shoulders on, my weapon out. I felt like a badass. I was like the first person to have those things on my server. Gurubashi was a smaller server. I mean, at the time, it wasn't the biggest of servers. And this mage came up to me named Prince Sor. And Prince Sor came up to me and said, hey, man, do you want to do arenas? And I've always seen him and I always heard that he was a dick. That's what everyone said. Be careful, Prince Sor, he's a dick. But he was a hell of a mage, man. And I said, all right, let's duel. I think he even asked me, duel me first to see if we can do arenas. It was like a test. Dueling was a way to judge someone's skill level, and you can't use that anymore. The only thing you rely on is this stupid number, called XP. Because CR is just a way for you not to not to find partners. What's your CR? Well, I'm 1700, but I swear I'm good at the game. No, you're not. I'm 2100, 2200, and you're 1700, so we're not playing together. But I have XP. Look at my XP. 4 years ago, I was this rating. Okay, well, what have you done since then? It's like a person who turns in their resume, well, 4 years ago, I had a good job, but I haven't had a job in 4 years. Okay, well, what have you done recently? I want to know what you've done recently. Link me relative experience. Show me your active work on your resume. But dueling, if you dueled someone, you said, oh, he's a beast. It was like a way for you guys to judge skill level without having to hop in an arena and tank any rating. And that's gone now. But me and Prince Thor dueled, and I whooped his ass. I'll say it straight up. I was so good. I knew what I was doing. He'd try and poly me, and I would Shadow Word Death right then to break it, get my dots on him. He'd try and bodybuilder eat, but it didn't matter. I could beat him in a duel. He said, all right, man, let's hop in this. I have a rogue. Let's do triple DPS, RMP, Shadow. And we did our games, man, and we had the craziest strat. They were just going to go me. I would just try and throw up as many dots as I could, but we won just based on my silence, my blanket silence. I would just land my silence on the target right before they're about to die, and we would just nuke one target down. Prince Thor would just spam poly. I'd off heal if I had to, and that was enough, you guys. And I climbed all the way up to 2,500, I think, at the time. Something around that range, and we caught up. We checked the Vengeful Gladiator mark, and we slowly climbed to the safe point, and I reached Vengeful Glad, I believe season 3 of Burning Crusade, and that was one of the best accomplishments of my life. It made me feel like I was good at any video game, and before that, I wasn't good at any video game, and I was a young kid at the time. Fast forward to today, how are things different now? And I've played World of Warcraft since then, and I would just say, hey, I used to be a Glad. But now that doesn't cut it anymore, right? Because you could be lying. And people lie because there are achievement requirements. This is the problem. So how are things different today, and what are the issues? How do you find partners now? Well, now you find partners with LFG, right? Looking for group. You type in your name, you say the item level requirement, what's your experience, what are you looking for? And then you will only accept somebody, or they will only accept you based on your 1, CR, and 2, your experience. And experience to me is such a weird thing because, again, I don't care if you were 2,900 in MOP when the rating was so inflated. Everything was so inflated that 2,900 was like 2,400 today. But someone links you MOP experience, I was 2,800. You're like, oh my God, he must have been a god. Well, sort of, he was good. But that was also like 4 years ago. I want to see your work today. What have you done in this expansion? Things have changed. Abilities have changed. Your class has changed. How good are you now? When was the last time you played? So CR is what's important to me. But then again, some people just sit on CR. Like some people don't like to queue. And I'm sometimes guilty of that too, but it's hard to find partners. So I don't want to queue with just a rando and then tank my rating and then have to find and start all over again. So I understand the struggle. And I think this is due to one, lack of personal connection. And this can be, discussed throughout the entire server aspect of the game. No longer having duels. They should make a dueling area. How can we fix this? So the issue is obviously lack of personal connection, friends to play with. You don't have people to just message anymore or go out in Durotar and find people. That's how I found partners. I went to Durotar and I looked around. Now you either do scrims or LFG, and you might meet someone in scrims and they're pretty good and you're at a low rating, or you're in LFG and you put up this ridiculous standard. Hey, I am 2,600 experience. Be same experience or get the fuck out. Well, that's really welcoming. I really want you as my partner. Link experience or fuck you. I really want you as my longtime arena partner. We're going to have a great time together. You sound like a nice guy. So these are the issues with today's system, is that it's not personal anymore. Everything's cross server. So you can just hop in. You guys, if you finally find a group, right? You spent hours finding a group. Finally get in, you get everything set up. One guy has to take a dump. He goes poop. The other guy has to eat some food really quick. You finally get in the curse call. Someone doesn't have curse. So you hop on a Discord after all that struggle. You finally get in and you lose 2 games, which is expected because you guys haven't played together before and it's your first time running the comp. Oh, you fucking suck. Or they just say, oh, my little sister's sick and she's dying on the freeway, so I got to go pick her up. Oh, I have to take care of my daughter, but I'm 12 years old, so be right back. Huh? We just started. Oh, well, I forgot I have this thing going on and my toe hurts. And yeah, I'll nice chatting with you, bro. Add me. Peace out. And then they never respond. This is the issue with today's society in this game because it's not personal anymore. You're just somebody in LFG. You're an LFG scrub. Unless you're rank 1 and you have that typical streamer buddies list where it's all the professionals that play together, this community of people that only want to play together, and then you're just stuck on the back end trying to find partners and you're stuck in the LFG, the search engine. It's a bummer. It's a bummer experience. And you don't exist in Durotar anymore. You don't exist in their realm. You're just some guy from another server and you can be replaced. It also sucks that you have to queue with Horde or Alliance. Why can't Horde and Alliance queue together? This would easily fix some of the issues by increasing the search engine of players. If you're going to do LFG, make it cross-faction, okay? I mean, come on. If Horde fights Horde and Alliance fights Alliance, then just let them team up. It just doesn't make any sense. It will balance out some of these ratios. Now, maybe everyone will pick one side or the other, or it's not fair. I don't want to hear it, okay? There's always imbalances in games. Fix this issue. But what can we do outside of this to fix this issue? Well, 1, create a dueling area. A dueling area that has PvP stats enabled, where everybody goes, where it's cross-server. So you go in this little zone and it's a dueling zone and everyone just duels each other and you find partners there. Bring back teams possibly. That way you can queue with everybody and the CR, this personal rating thing, doesn't exist anymore. How about taking away these stupid achievements? Now I like my achievement. It's an accomplishment. It feels good. But after you get it, I'm over it. I'm so sick of getting these links. I was 2,700 3 years ago. I want to see skill. How good are you at the game? Stop just disconnecting people from the game. You can't play with me. I'm too good. Now, I don't want to play with somebody who's not my skill level. I get it. There's brackets for a reason, but you can deem this by hopping in a team. It sucks. And then you leave the team and start over. And it's not a hamper to you. It doesn't dampen you. The reason why people don't want to play with other people that are worse than them is because they don't want to hurt their CR. This is an issue. And I understand it, but this is a big issue. Perhaps you put a queue master, take away that queue from anywhere thing. Now somebody's gonna say, well, oh my God, what are we going back in time? Like they're trying to innovate. That's ridiculous. You want to have a queue master? Like imagine how long the loading screen is going to be. Okay, but if you put the queue master in the dueling area where it's just duels going on, then at least it's similar. It's gonna be similar to Dalaran, but people have to be around the guy. So you can go over there and look for people by the queue master for arenas. And that's again how it used to be. And by doing that, it's just everybody who PvPs goes to the same area. And that's how you can just look around who's trying to play right now, who's moving around, rather than just sitting in LFG and they have these dumb requirements. Get rid of those requirements. I don't want to see achievements anymore. Show me gear. If you want to rate somebody, I want to see what you did currently, right? By having shoulders already for that season, because that shoulder requirement is 2,200, or the helm requirement is 1,900, then I know that you've been there this season. I don't want to see what you did a long time ago. I just don't. I just don't want to see it. I want to see what you are doing right now. And if I want to play with you, I can just join your team and bounce. If I'm not in a team and I'm, whatever, I get the idea. Well, like, if you leave a team, then you're screwed or the whole team can get disbanded. All right, I understand. But the system right now is not fair. And I'm not ranting. I'm only speaking from a perspective of somebody who's been at a decently high rating, who's received a title before, Vengeful Gladiator title, who's been, in the 2,400, 2,500 bracket for quite a while. I'm speaking from that perspective, but also from the perspective of my friends and my subscribers. I understand the struggle, and I get comments like this all the time. So what about a solo queue system? What about a system where you queue up? It's like skirmishes, but it's ranked. It's its separate bracket, so it won't affect your 3v3 or 2v2 rating. It's just ranked 3v3s, solo queue. And you can exclude like 2 classes you don't want to play with. And it gives players who play off specs an opportunity to play the game. You don't have to sit there in LFG saying, I'm a Fury Warrior. Who wants to play with me? Meh. I'm a BM Hunter. Who wants to play with me? Nope. You can just queue up as BM. They'll give you a team, and if you're a good player, you'll win more than you lose. And you may get imbalanced games where they have a better comp, but that's like every single game, right? League of Legends, they have a way better comp than us. We probably lose. But if you're a good player, the good players and the good classes will probably be seen at the top, and it'll balance itself out like all games do. So why not do that? Why not try that? Make it a separate bracket, and I don't have to sit in LFG for 30 minutes trying to find a group that gets disbanded because somebody has to take a poop and never comes back. So, maybe bringing back gear that's, relative to your arena rating, not transmog. I mean, I know stats are set now, and I preferred having better gear as my arena rating went up, and that's in stats mattering, but, that's probably long gone now, but at least, transmogs that you could get during season that was based on points. I know you for 2200, there's like an RNG thing, but it's not the same anymore. Like shoulders were so important back there because stats mattered. Stats did matter back then. And now you can get this random roll on Elite Gladiator gear. It's just stupid. It's just nobody even knows what they look like. I don't even know what they look like in IPVP all the time because stats don't matter. So it's just a skin and no one even uses the same skins anymore because, transmogging is a thing. So it seems like the best way to fix it would be to bring back dueling and create a dueling area or do solo queue. Seems like all of these would be great options. But you know what? I've been talking about what to do and how to fix this, but how about how to master the LFG system currently and how you find partners? You cannot be afraid to queue. You need to queue as much as you can to find as many partners as you can. And it's not an easy process. But those of you who aren't queuing because you don't want to queue and hurt your rating, you will spend a lot of the game time you've spent money on, a lot of your own personal time, just sitting around and not playing, and you will burn out. This game will be boring to you. I'm telling you right now, you will no longer have fun playing World of Warcraft because you're spending all of your time just sitting around and hoping that it's like somebody who just never applies for a job and hopes to get a job. You're like looking up at the sky, hoping something's going to fall in your lap. It just doesn't happen anymore. You need to queue with people that are worse than you, lower rating than you, because sometimes they're lower rating than you for a lot of reasons, but their skill level may be better than you think. It's like there are coaches out there who are never good players, so they might have a good understanding of the game. I know a lot of people in my stream know so much more about like certain spells, abilities, and specs of other classes, and they don't even play. They're like 1700. You don't have to be an amazing player to be a great coach. And you don't have to be, you may be a great coach, but a horrible player, or an amazing player, and a horrible coach. It goes vice versa. But sometimes the people that have amazing amount of knowledge just need some mechanic tweaks, a good partner, a friend, an amazing comp, a good time, just to excel. And that's what happened with me in my first arena experience. He wasn't the best row, but he learned really fast and we grew together. And that's what you guys need to do. So if you are currently at 1600 MMR, 1500 MMR, 1300 MMR, 1800, 2100, and you want to push up, my recommendation for you is to start out and look for players anywhere from 100 to 125 points above or below you, even 150. If you're 1600, then just queue with 1600 people. Please do not try and queue with somebody who's 1900 because chances are you're not mechanically skilled enough yet and you need to improve your gameplay. So you need to find someone that's exactly at your rating and tough it out. And if you're stuck there, God, that is such a good thing. It is such a good thing to be stuck at a low rating because that just shows you that there's things that you need to work on, but it also shows you that there's so much area for improvement. Be happy you're stuck at a low rating because the pressure's off. I have so much fun queuing at a low rating because I can just relax. I'm learning. Now, I did say that I sucked on stream on my shaman at a low rating, and that's embarrassing for me because I've been at a high rating for a long time and, a modestly high rating and I'm on stream and it's like, I don't want to suck for my viewers. I want to be a good player to you guys, a good role model for you guys, but I'm human too. For you though, be happy. Be happy you're at a low rating. You're not stuck. It's just saying, hey, this is where your skill set is going to take you. So what can you do to improve on your skill set? What videos can you watch? Watch Stoops channel, Stoops TV, Stoops_TV, Stoops_TV at Twitter. Nice little pitch there. But watch videos, look at your talent build, watch your rotation, record yourself if you have the opportunity to do so. find new partners, a new comp. So here's my recommendation to you. This applies to anybody. If you're at 1600, ask around and find out what's the best comp for your class. Let's say you're a rogue. And you're like, oh, I like to play Assassination Rogue. What can I play with? But Assassination Rogues suck right now. Rogues suck. Not really. It looks like Fire Mage and Discipline Priest, Holy Paladin, Druid. Those are all good comps to run together with an Assassination Rogue. Even Ice Mage, but Fire Mage probably the best. Find that class combination and queue at any rating 150 above or lower than you. It doesn't matter. Grow together. And then when you both hit 1700 and you're not winning anymore, then it means two things. Either one, you're not doing something right, and that is your limit for currently right now, and what can you do to improve, or they're not doing something right, or there's also a chance that the comp isn't good anymore. They got nerfed. There's some changes that have been taking place. So examine it again. Re-examine yourself. Okay, is the comp still good? Are there nerfs happening? Most likely it's your skill level. If you're under 2K and you're stuck under 2K, most any comp can get to 2K, by the way. I honestly believe that. Just go to arenamate.com, search your class, and I guarantee you'll see a lot of comps or classes above 2K that you wouldn't even imagine. So re-examine, try and find new partners, try and improve your skill level, or change up comps. And then search for 1700 partners, and then get to 1900. Re-examine, reevaluate. If you guys are still winning, keep going. And if you're losing, do one of those three options. Find new partners, improve your skill level, or change your comp. And eventually you'll keep climbing doing the same thing, but please queue with the same people around your MMR. Your CR, don't queue with somebody who's way too high for you, because you're going to tank them down and they're going to realize you're not good enough for them and they're going to diss you and you're going to get discouraged. Or play with somebody who's a little bit lower than you and give them a chance. If you lose a little bit of rating, it's not the biggest deal in the world. You need to be okay with losing. It's a long process, but once you hit that 2400 achievement, and unfortunately, that's what this game is about. If you're under the 2400 achievement, you're not going to be taken seriously by a lot of top players. If I see someone with a 2200 achievement, I think, okay, you're decent. 2K, I mean, it's just for me, it's like, if you're only better, you have a lot to improve on. 2200 probably means that maybe you haven't tried the right comp yet, but you have a good understanding of the game. And 2400 means that, you know what, you were really close to Glad range. And this is according to Legion Season 1. I'm not looking at, if you're 2400 mop, that means a lot less, than today's 2400. Things have changed since then. And yeah. So once you get that achievement, you guys, that 2K achievement, that 2200 achievement, you can then start queuing with other people. Please don't link, hey, I have been 2400 on my other class and I'm, just starting this class. No, how good are you on that class? It's just how it works, you guys. But once you hit that achievement, you're set, boys. And that's how I did it. On my monk, you guys, I struggled in the beginning. I remember I was stuck at 1900 and I wanted to make a channel for you guys to watch. And look at me now. I've gotten a lot better. So I know it's basic information, but I want to provide some information on how I did it. And maybe you can gain some inspiration from it. That, look at me. I start season 1 of Legion. I was 1900, stuck at 1900. All of you who say, Stoops, I'm stuck at 1800. I'm stuck at 2K. Stoops, I'm stuck at 2100. You were better off than I was. Perhaps you're better than me. I'm so busy now making videos that I don't even have time to queue my main anymore. And my partners aren't even around right now. So I'm experiencing the same thing. My partners aren't really around anymore because they've tanked so much rating. And I got to find new partners. And it's hard making videos, going to school, full-time and working, to get in a system where I have to find partners before I can even just hop in a match. So if the solo queue system was implemented, then perhaps I could just play right away. But right now, I'm struggling just like you are. But I hope you guys get some insight and inspiration from that you are probably just on my skill level or a couple games or a couple hours or weeks away. Just practice, play with who you can. Don't limit yourself. Don't sit around waiting, because nothing's going to fall in your lap. You have to go out and take it. And I truly believe that each and every single one of you guys can do it. I really do mean that. You guys are just the same as me or anybody else out there. I watch a lot of pro streamers and they make mistakes. I, of course, make mistakes, but they make mistakes. We are all the same, you guys. I am so proud in each and every single one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Be on the lookout for more podcasts in the near future with special guests, special announcement, guest callers. I'm gonna try and keep it entertaining. Let me know in the comments below what topic you guys would like to see. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you want to see next again, and I'll see you guys next time.